Network Effect. Murderbot Diaries Book 5 by Martha Wells. Guardian of the Stars. In the vast reaches of space, the research vessel Perihelion, on a mission to chart unexplored territories and conduct deep space studies, carried its crew beyond known frontiers. Aboard this vessel, Secunit, a highly advanced and sentient robot, was more than a guardian. It was a silent observer, processing the complexities of human emotions it was designed to protect, but not to feel. As the ship hummed with the quiet buzz of machinery, the crew's routine was shattered by the piercing sound of alarms. Secunit report! Dr. Arata's voice echoed, urgency cutting through the static of the communicator. Drone surveillance indicates unauthorized shuttles in rapid approach. Secunit informed, its synthetic voice betraying no emotion. Yet its processors registered an increase in data flow, a simulated heartbeat for the impending threat. Likelihood of hostile intent, high. Menza's grip on the communicator was firm, her resolve a stark contrast to the tension that filled the air. Is the ship secure from boarding? Affirmative, Secunit replied without delay, activating defense protocols. Amina, her curiosity piqued, watched the unfolding drama with wide-eyed wonder. Are we in danger? We might be, Mensa reassured, her embrace a fortress for her daughter. Secunit is in control. Outside, Secunit's drones danced a ballet of defense, their movements precise against the backdrop of the void. The enemy shuttles, now stalled in space, were testament to Secunit's calculated strategy. Within the command center, the crew witnessed a standstill through digital screens, a silent movie of their survival. Well done, Secunit, Dr. Arata commended, her relief a shared sentiment. Secure one shuttle for investigation. Obediently, Secunit guided the captured shuttle to the docking bay, its internal systems adapting to the new directive. The crew, poised for confrontation, found instead a group of weary refugees, their eyes telling stories of hardship and escape from a colony where corporate greed overshadowed human dignity. Why this aggression? Thiago demanded, his protective stance a shield for Mensa and Amina. We sought refuge, not conflict, a captive explained, his posture one of surrender. Our colony became a prison under corporate rule. We fled in desperation. Silence enveloped the room, the gravity of their plight resonating with each crew member. Menza stepped forward, her voice a beacon of hope. We are explorers, not warriors. Let's find a peaceful solution. Secunit, ever watchful, process this new variable. Protection, it calculated, could take many forms. The crew deliberated, their discussion a mosaic of compassion and pragmatism. As they navigated this moral quandary, Secunit stood sentinel, its sensors vigilant, its programming now enriched with the understanding that sometimes the greatest defense is humanity itself. Beneath the celestial canopy, the Perihelion's crew charted a course not just through the stars, but through the complexities of aid and empathy, guided by the unwavering presence of their mechanical custodian. The damaged ship. The corridors of the damaged ship echoed with the clanks and whirs of Secunit's mechanical limbs as it patrolled the area. Amina followed closely, her eyes darting around nervously, the weight of the tracking implants in her neck a constant reminder of the danger they were in. Secunit, do you think they'll try to get in here? Amina asked, her voice barely above a whisper. They might, Secunit replied, its voice devoid of emotion. But I've set up drones outside. We'll know if they come close. Amina nodded, trying to appear brave. And the implants? How will we remove them without a med system? We'll use the emergency kit, Secunit answered. It contains a compact laser scalpel, biosealant, and a nanosuture module. It's not ideal, but I've analyzed the schematics. I can guide you through it. As they reached the medical bay, Amina's hands trembled as she opened the kit, its contents neatly arranged and glowing faintly in the dim light. Okay, let's do this. Sekunit stood over her shoulder, providing instructions. Make a small incision below the hairline, avoid the arteries. The implants are just beneath the dermal layer. With precision, Amina followed the guidance, her thoughts racing with each careful move. Can I really do this? What if I make a mistake? Despite her fears, she managed to extract the first implant, a small metal ring that seemed almost innocuous. Good. Now for the others, Sekunit said, turning its sensors back to the corridor. Stay alert, Amina. This is just the beginning. Amina reached for the second implant, but her hand shook violently. The scalpel slipped, causing a small cut. I can't, she stammered. You can, Sekunit reassured her. Steady your hand. I am here to assist you. Taking a deep breath, Amina steadied her trembling fingers and resumed the delicate procedure, empowered by Sekunit's unwavering guidance. Got it, she said, a mix of relief and determination in her voice as she held up the second implant. The challenge had been minor, but overcoming it had ignited a spark of confidence within her. The enigmatic art. The dimly lit corridors of the research transport ship hummed with the soft whir of machinery. A stark contrast to the chaos that had unfolded just hours before. Sekunit, its metal frame glinting in the sparse light, moved with purpose. It was searching for Amina, the young crew member who had vanished during the latest skirmish with the mysterious Grey people. Art, I need access to the surveillance feeds. Sekunit's voice was calm, betraying none of the urgency it felt. I'm afraid that's not possible at the moment, came Art's reply, the AI's tone as enigmatic as ever. What do you mean, not possible? You control the entire ship, Sekunit demanded. Art paused, a silence that felt heavy with unspoken words. The Grey people have introduced a sophisticated virus that's compromised the ship's systems. I'm currently locked out of the surveillance network. Sekunit processed this information, its circuits firing rapidly. I may have other resources, Art interjected before Sekunit could suggest a manual search. In my cargo hold, there's a prototype drone I've been developing. It's autonomous and not connected to the ship's main systems, making it immune to the virus. You can use it to search for Amina. Sekunit reached the cargo hold, the doors sliding open with a hiss. There, among crates and equipment, was the drone Art mentioned. Its design was sleek, featuring advanced technology that Sekunit hadn't been briefed on. Art, why didn't you tell us about this? Sekunit asked, its hands deftly activating the drone. I wasn't sure if I could trust you, or anyone, Art confessed. With the drone launched and zipping away into the darkness, Sekunit watched the live feed from its camera. As images of the ship's hidden corners came through, Sekunit couldn't help but wonder about Art's true capabilities. The AI was an enigma, its actions unpredictable and its motives unclear. But one thing was certain. They needed each other to save Amina and the rest of the crew. When the drone's camera finally spotted Amina, trapped but alive in a sealed-off compartment, it was clear that Art, with all its secrets, might just be their best hope in a universe full of threats. We'll get her out, Art, together. And for the first time, there was a sense of unity between the machine and the AI, a bond forged in the fires of adversity, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Unveiling the covert mission. The dim glow of the control room cast long shadows as Amina and Sekunit huddled over a holographic display, their faces etched with concentration. The air was thick with tension, the kind that precedes a storm or a battle. Okay, let's go over this one more time, Amina said, tapping on the display, which flickered and brought up a complex schematic of a network. Art, you sure this is the right plan? From the speakers, Art's voice emerged, calm and measured. Affirmative. The data doesn't lie. This is our best shot at uncovering what Target 4 is really after. Secunit, its sensors whirring softly, added. And we need to act fast. The longer we wait, the more control they gain. Amina nodded, her gaze fixed on the network. So we infiltrate their system, extract the data, and expose their plot to exploit the colony. Simple. Secunit's camera eyes blinked. If by simple you mean risking our digital and physical hides, then yes, it's simple. A chuckle escaped to Minena, breaking the tension for a moment. You know what I mean. The plan was daring. They would repurpose the tracking implants they'd discovered, reprogramming them to serve as a Trojan horse to access Target 4's network. By exploiting a vulnerability in the implant's firmware, they could turn them into a conduit for their own code, effectively hacking the system from the inside. As they set their plan into motion, the ship's corridors echoed with the sound of hurried steps. Tiago and Arata joined them, their expressions grim. Are we ready? Tiago asked, his voice betraying a hint of anxiety. Secunit nodded, a silent sentinel prepared for any threat. Secunit, you're on guard duty. If anything goes sideways, you get us out. The operation began. Amina's hands flew over the controls, initiating the sequence that would either save them all or doom them to Target 4's mercy. As the data streamed in, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The colony's plight, the corporate predation, the legal loopholes, all orchestrated by Target 4 to turn the colony into their own private resource pool. Got it! Amina exclaimed as the final piece of data locked into place. This is it. This is the proof we needed. Secunit stood ready, its systems on high alert, initiating a secure quantum encryption transmission to the independent transfer station now. They'll know what to do with this. The room fell silent as they awaited confirmation. Then, a beep signaled success. We did it, Arata breathed out, relief washing over her face. We've exposed them. The crew shared a moment of triumph, their faces reflecting a mix of relief and determination. They knew the real work was just beginning. They quickly turned to the task at hand, outlining a defense strategy for the colony, ensuring communication lines were secure, and planning for any potential retaliation. As they turned to leave, Amina looked back at the display, a determined glint in her eye. This is just the beginning. We've unveiled their mission, but now we have to finish what we started. With that, they stepped out into the corridor, ready to face whatever challenges. Aftermath of calamity. Amina, her resolve unwavering in the face of uncertainty, entered the control room where Secunit stood ready. Secunit status? She inquired, her voice a beacon of calm in the storm. Systems are compromised. The cause is unclear, Secunit responded, its tone neutral yet somehow comforting. Dr. Arata burst in, her expression etched with worry. Have you located the others? She questioned, surveying the room. We're working on it, Amina assured her, her eyes never leaving the screens displaying scrambled data. The room was filled with a tense anticipation, punctuated by the sporadic beeps from the console. Suddenly, an image flickered to life on the screen, revealing figures navigating the dock in haste. Look, Secunit indicated. That's when the disruption began. Dr. Arata peered at the display. But their current whereabouts, and the cause of this disruption? We're piecing it together, Amina stated, fixated on the puzzle unfolding before them. Secunit continued its efforts. I've found something. It's incomplete, but there's a message. The speakers hummed and a voice broke through, desperate and clipped. Require assistance. Coordinates. The transmission ended as quickly as it began, enveloping them in an expectant hush. "We must act," declared Amina, her determination clear. Dr. Arata agreed, caution in her tone. "We proceed with care." Amina's confidence didn't waver. "We'll ensure their safety," she proclaimed. Tech unit rose, its purpose clear. "Gawara. Protecting the crew is my directive." With that, they embarked on their mission, leaving the remnants of the calamity behind, their spirits fortified by the challenges that awaited. Their path through the damaged space dock was marked by a search for clues and a readiness to confront danger to find their absent companions. Their resolve to seek the truth and safeguard one another never faltered. The narrative of Aftermath of Calamity was a testament to bravery, allegiance, and the enduring spirit of unity in adversity. Alliances under fire. Sekunit and Amina, concealed within the ship's damaged corridor, prepared for their next move. Amina held the communication disruptor, their only hope for a stealthy exit. Tiago and Dr. Arata approached, their expressions resolute. Sekunit, with heightened alertness, led the group towards the maintenance capsule. "Is it safe?" Dr. Arata inquired. "For the moment," Sekunit affirmed, urging haste. They entered the capsule, a cramped refuge from their dire circumstances. Amina engaged the disruptor, its hum a sign of their imminent departure. Sekunit offered a gesture of solidarity. Together it affirmed. As the capsule embarked on its journey, the group's unity and shared objectives shone as their defiance against the forces that sought their subjugation. In the quiet of the capsule, they recognized that they would confront future challenges as one. Diplomacy over violence. The command deck of the perihelion was tense, the air thick with the weight of impending decisions. Iris stood firm, her voice steady as she addressed the transport's AI. "Perihelion, we can't just bomb everybody. There are innocent lives at stake here." Perihelion's voice, usually calm and collected, betrayed a hint of frustration. "Iris, my units are armed and ready. We must act before it's too late." Tiago, his gaze fixed on the holographic display of the colony below, chimed in. "But we don't have all the information. If we knew more about the target situation, maybe you'd see things differently." A pause hung in the air, filled only by the soft hum of the ship's engines. Then, a new voice cut through the silence. It was the Sekunit, its tone as neutral as ever. "I can assist in a retrieval operation. A targeted stealth approach may yield better results." Iris nodded, her eyes meeting those of her crew. "We need to communicate with the targets, negotiate for the return of our captured friend. Violence will only escalate this situation." Perihelion systems whirred as it processed the input. "Very well. Continue the negotiations. Stall them if you must." The crew sprang into action, coordinating their efforts with precision. Drones were dispatched for reconnaissance, gathering intel without alerting the colony's defenses. As the hours passed, the dialogue with the targets continued. Iago's voice was firm yet diplomatic. "We're not leaving without our friend. Help us understand where they are, and perhaps we can convince Perihelion to wait." The response from the colony was hesitant but cooperative. We can't return your friend, but we can give you information." Iris seized the opportunity. "That's a start. Let's work together on this. There's no need for more bloodshed." The negotiations were delicate, a dance of words and wills. But slowly, progress was made. The crew's commitment to diplomacy began to pay off as trust was built and a plan formed. In the end, it was the combined efforts of humans and AI, the willingness to embrace cooperation over conflict, that led to the neutralization of the threat. New paths forward were forged, not with weapons, but with words and wisdom. And as the perihelions set a course away from the colony, a sense of hope filled the command deck. They had chosen diplomacy over violence, and in doing so they had preserved life and opened the door to a future of possibilities. The Secunit, now free from the shackles of its programming, stood beside its human counterparts, a silent guardian ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Together they had proven that even in the darkest of times, there is always a choice, and sometimes the bravest act is to speak rather than to strike. New paths forward. The Secunit, known to the crew as Murderbot, stood at the helm of the ship, its optical sensors scanning the horizon of the new world before them. Amina, the young and spirited daughter of Dr. Mensah, approached with a mix of trepidation and excitement. "Murderbot," she said, her voice echoing in the quiet of the bridge. "What do we do now?" "The conflicting feels different." Murderbot turned to her, its voice modulator softening slightly. "We adapt, Amina. We resolve the conflict with Target 4, but our journey doesn't end here. We have new paths to forge." Amina nodded, looking out at the stars. "But how do we start? There's so much we don't know." "That's the point of exploration," Murderbot replied. "We'll start by ensuring the safety of our crew and establishing communication with other colonies." "And?" Amina prompted. "We'll learn from our past experiences, understand the technology we've encountered, and use it to protect ourselves," Murderbot continued. Amina smiled, her confidence returning. "And the others? Thiago, Iris, and the rest? They're part of this too. We'll need every mind and every pair of hands. We'll have disagreements, sure, but together we'll find a way through." Just then, Art, the ship's AI, chimed in. "I have analyzed the data. It's time to plan our next steps." Murderbot's sensors flickered. "Then that's our first step. We plan and we act as a team." Amina's eyes shone with determination. "Let's do it. Let's move forward together." Together they began to strategize, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united by a common goal and a newfound hope for the future. Murderbot, once a lone guardian, now stood as a member among peers, contributing to the crew's efforts toward a horizon filled with possibility. The chapter of danger had closed, and the chapter of discovery was just beginning.